Welcome back to part 2 of the new Death Note one-shot story. If you didn't see yesterday's video, which was going over part 1 of the new story, I'm going over the storyboards. I'm not able to show anything, but it pretty much reveals most of the story. So this is part 2, continuing what I did last episode. Last episode I went from page 1 to 30, and today I'm going from page 30 to 60. And then in tomorrow, which is going to be the final episode, I'll go 60 to 88, with it being the end. Hope you enjoy. If you enjoyed yesterday's video and you're new here, make sure to subscribe, and let's go. So as we know from last week's chapter, it was basically or mostly a flashback, and then this chapter is the end of the flashback where it cuts 2 years back in 2019, where Ryuk is giving Tanaka the notebook for the real time, and now he's gonna go with his plan. So here we are, page 31. Back 2019, that's how it happened back then. Yeah, I undoed my hunger apples for 2 years. Okay, so I'll give my plan what I thought of the plan back then. So he goes over, oh yeah, 2 years ago he thought of a plan but needed time to implement it, but now he's ready to do it. Just as I planned, I'll sell the notebook. Sell it. Ryuk in shock, or it seems to be shocked. It's still storyboard, so the images or the drawings are not like real. You can only see like 2 little eyes in the panel. I'll put it up for auction on the internet. Don't get me wrong, that sounds interesting, but aren't you the one who said they'll find out immediately if you write something on the internet nowadays? I won't use the internet. That's exactly where I asked how far you could be from me. So as we learned in the earlier pages, that before he had given the notebook back to Ryuk to come back in 2 years, he asked the distance he can travel, where they agreed on 14 kilometers from each other. So it seems like he's gonna use Ryuk, as we see in the next few panels, to go to the same go to a news station, Sakura TV, the one that was used throughout most of the original Death Note story for like Kira worshippers and all news related to Kira, to go to that Sakura TV news station, Sin News XN, to go in there with Ryuk holding the notebook up, with pretty much no one in there being able to see who it is, so they just see a floating paper with them writing on a piece of paper, or with Ryuk writing on the piece of paper saying, I'm selling Kira's ability to kill people from a distance via auction. If you want to buy it, write a tweet using the hashtag Kira's power and make an offer in American dollars. It's kind of funny that they're using like the power of Twitter, hashtag Kira's power, and people to the auction up on like Twitter. It's just very interesting, very logical on the current era of how things work. We get some strange reactions from the hosts of Sakura TV. They were confused. What the hell is this? Selling Kira's abilities via auction. What the heck? Kira, are we talking about that Kira? He's using Sakura TV again. What the hell is this pen? See the pen floating and then writing on the piece of paper for the world to see. We see Tanaka watching through his phone on the TV, seeing what's happening, seeing how it's all going to plan. The NPD or the police force, they see there. We see some people who touched the Death Note in the past who are able to see Ryuk. I can't really make out what characters there are. Deputy Chief Ryuk is back trying to sell the Death Note. We can't see really who the characters are. They don't label any characters, but you can assume it's the task force people who survived at the end of the original Death Note, who can actually see Ryuk as they touched Death Note in the previous story. They see Ryuk holding out the piece of paper, then dropping it, then teleporting through the floor. We cut to a little bit later in school with the main character selling Kira's ability. There has to be some kind of a prank. It doesn't matter if it's Sakura TV airing news like this. Is that okay? Hey look, not a day has passed and people are already promising over $3 million for it. $3 million, that's like billions in Japanese yen. The main character is thinking, if that really is Kira's power, then even billions won't be enough, though. I mean, you can bring the whole world under control with it. We cut to in America, where I see our absolute Chad lad, Nia, who has pretty much taken the role as L in the world. He's known as L now, not Nia. L has been news about Akira in Japan. Oh, is that so? It's just a Shinigami mannequin, although I know this is quite difficult to do. I'm working on a Shinigami tracker right now. We see all the people working for Nia confused. We see an older looking Nia. Like I said, it's a storyboard, so they're not really fully drawn. It's just rough sketches. We can see a long haired Nia. We've seen like images of this, so this is Nia's new look. Like on the floor with his finger puppets in his hand. So let's call this person selling a notebook the internet Akira, and then like on the floor, similar to how L was at the start of the original Death Note with a laptop. There we have. But I thought only people who touch the notebook with Shinigami, that's why I said it's quite difficult. So it's true, yes, because I've already seen the Shinigami before. Sending a Shinigami to the TV station without using the internet themselves, Akira is quite cautious. Following the Shinigami around can lead to Akira. So Nia's plan is to follow the Shinigami around or follow Ryuk around because he's able to see it, so he's going to work out how to do that. That being said, having the people who can see Shinigami trying to find them all throughout surveillance cameras throughout Japan will be quite difficult. In the past, Kira case, we predicted that the Shinigami had to be close to the owner of the murder notebook, so at least for now I think it's safe to say that Akira is currently located in Japan. Works out that he's in Japan. We see that Nia or Nu L is saying that the Akira is quite intelligent for this scheme or what he's planning to do with this. I personally want to meet him, see him for himself. So he has a similar mindset to L, where he believes that this person is the Kira, but he doesn't want to just bring him to justice. He wants to meet him and get to know him because he is an intelligent person similar to him. We cut to the Japanese police station. It's been a while. Former SPY member Mr. Resta. We were also just checking the phone through Sakura TV. And what about the Shinigami? That's after throwing out the paper contained the message passed through the ground and then under the parking lot, so they weren't able to follow Ryuk as he went back. What's going on now? They said the Shinigami dove underground, avoided cameras and all that stuff. We crack back to Nia. That would mean that the next Shinigami should be captured. On the cameras, wait, what does it say here? On cameras outside of the ones from Sakura TV is when they're passing the notebook, right? In other words, there is almost no chance to really arrest them. For Akira, it'd be moments between taking their money and giving the notebook away. For me, it'd be much easier to find out who Akira is through who received the money, but somehow I feel that's almost like losing. So we see that Nia or L doesn't want to just go the easy route to try and catch her, just to wait and see what happens. He wants to do it before the actual auction happens. Looks like it's going well. It's about to hit $10 billion, even though I'm trying not to look. I'm always freaked out how well it's going. By the way, this is Ryuk talking. By the way, when's this contest gonna end? Am I gonna have to stop eating apples? Protagonist says, I haven't decided on the time. I think I can give you apples for a little bit longer after bidding ends though. We cut to another note that Ryuk is writing at Sakura TV. 1 week left in the auction, possibility of ending even sooner than that. When the auction ends, you will be notified this way. No returns, please. Here it is, it's here. Keep the message on for 30 minutes. It's the exact same pen and paper from last time. I read it out loud and just the news people talking about it. Nothing special here. Hey, we're in the process of filming right now. Police, you are not allowed to buy Kira's power. Stupid Matsuda. Matsuda has arrived on the crime scene. What a absolute Chad return of a character from the original Death Note. Aren't you the guy who came to talk about Kira's true identity a long time ago? That's right, and Kira's power true is something awful. It appears that Matsuda is alive and well in many ways. This is only going to heighten the auction's credibility. Blah blah blah. We cut to the, I believe, American president this is. The Japanese government can't be buying something like that. Anyway, are you on administrative leave as far as the media is concerned? Not sure what's going on there. I think it's the president talking to Nia. The next day, holy thanks to the guy Matsuda yesterday, now it's up to $200 billion. That's more than 20 trillion yen. It can't be a single individual. That's more than the highest person or the richest person in the world. So which means it must be an entire country with someone bidding on their behalf. So it turns out it's bidding between countries to can get the Death Note. It's a showdown between two parties. Other bidders are just spectators at this point. That's crazy. A new offer was made for $300 billion. So it seems to be a bidding war between America and China and their governments in all what they're worth to get the Death Note. Another note has been released. Instead of randomly announcing on Twitter, please use the representatives from your government and officially announce how much you're willing to pay. That's another note that was left by Ryuk. Now things are getting interesting, said by Nia. Mr. President, in 2005, the FBI director and a boy who called himself Nia told the US president that Kira can kill people by just writing names in a notebook. If this is true, then no other nations should have this. this, our country will pay $500 billion to buy Kira's powers. That's America. The People's Republic of China will pay $1 trillion, and I promise you here that we will use Kira's powers for the peace purposes. $1 trillion. Then America will pay $2 trillion with the promise of to seal Kira's powers away for the peace of the world. And yep, last page for today's video on Sakura TV. The next day, here it comes. The last note: each hitter who is bidding should be announcing their bidding prices only, nothing more, not a single word. And that's it for today's video. So we learned that the plan of the new Kira, or new protagonist, is to sell the notebook, and the bidding wars have gone up to past any individual to whole countries or the biggest superpowers in the world bidding against each other, America and China, with China bidding 1 trillion, America bidding 2 trillion right now. And we'll see what happens in tomorrow's vid. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe and stay tuned for tomorrow's part 3 final part.